cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going ape, bitch, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough. 'Cause my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
Hello. Hello. Well, I figured I'd take a few minutes and go over this chapter, see how things go. Interesting things happen in this chapter for sure. We still got a ways to go. I wonder how long Oda's gonna cuck us, because he introduced a lot of shit in this chapter, and I wonder if it's going to be like take forever to get to anything, or we're going to have to wait, or if it's going to be quick to get to some of the cool parts. So, all right, let's let me test something real quick. Is that not working? Fuck. Maybe that's why. Let's see. Double test. I don't know why the text isn't showing up. It might be because I fucked with some shit. Well, we'll deal with it. I guess the chat won't show up on screen. So I have to keep an eye on this. What happened? Damn, did that close on my windows? Okay, never mind. It did, but never mind. Let me pull some stuff back up real quick. I think I changed my settings when I was messing around with stuff, so I forgot. I don't think it saved the... I don't think it saved the chat option or something. God damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Never mind. Okie doke. A little bit off today. Been trying to work on some shit. Things are going how they're going. Not good, but we'll figure it out from there. Alright, nobody's here, but we'll go ahead and start because why the fuck not? Alright. So, let me... If this chat thing isn't gonna work. Maybe I'm not logged in? Is that the issue? Bear with me for just a minute. Bear with me. Bear with me. I got logged out of all my shit yesterday on the computer, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Let's try again. Oh, you know what? Maybe. Maybe this is why. Alright, we're gonna put this over here. That way, if anybody chats, I can see it while I'm working on this. Bear with me. We'll get to the review in a minute. Just saying. Just give me a second here. God damn. I don't know why this shit's running so slow. That's the problem right now. Like, I think I know what's wrong, but I'm trying to double check. But the damn Streamlabs site's running around like slow as fuck. Slow as fuck. I don't know why every time when I start a stream, it's like, is this for children? I'm like, no. Like, that just sounds creepy every time I have to answer that. It could, maybe that's why. Maybe Streamlabs is down. I can't get Streamlabs to open the website. Well, it was open, but it's like Because I forgot I was messing with some stuff the other day, testing out some stuff, and that could be. Yeah, it looks like Streamlabs is having a problem, so that seems like that's why. Alright, so I'll have to do it like this. So maybe it isn't my fault after all. We'll try one more time. It let me log in, but like now it's not even loading. It's not even loading the page anymore. Yeah. It shouldn't be anything on my end because everything looks like it's working. Yeah. Bitrate, everything's good. YouTube says everything's good. Yeah. Alright. Okay, well, fuck it. There won't be any chat on the screen. If anybody even shows up, there's nobody here. Alright, so let's get into the shit. One Piece is chapter 1062. It's Adventures in the Land of Science. In the Land of Science. And the cover page still says Germa 66 Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 20. Meanwhile, in Chocolat Town on Cacao Island, it's like everything's all froze up, right? So we'll get into our first kind of crazy theory of the week, which probably isn't that crazy. What are you on about? It should be alright, fuck it. Most people are thinking that ALXG has shown up to collect the Poneglyph for Blackbeard and possibly even kidnap Pudding, which kind of makes sense because it looks like all the freezing shit. Were there any Germa people that had like a freezing ability or something? Not that I remember. So that does kind of make sense. That's possibly what's going to happen. Because obviously we know Blackbeard's trying to collect, or he's even there to collect like other Devil Fruit users. Because Big Mom, she's got pretty much every one of her kids had a Devil Fruit that we saw. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean they all do, but definitely is a possibility. And we know that Pudding, like Big Mom was going to use Pudding to read the Poneglyphs. Now, I don't know how. Is it because of the three-eyed? I think she says because of the three-eyed. I was also thinking maybe she thought, like, because she can get in the memories. Maybe she could get in, like, kidnap Nico Robin and get in her memories or something, and that might have been what it is. But I think that was an ability, was a Devil Fruit, where she could go in and edit memories. So I guess the three-eyed, they have some sort of ability or something. So that's probably, so maybe that was the two reasons he was there. And I always like it when we kind of start the chapter off kind of where we left off last time. We're here with Frank. Who's all here? Frankie, Sanji, Zoro, Nami, Brooke, Robin. They're the ones that are on the ship, and they got picked up by the big giant Vegapunk mech. And of course, Frankie's like, Vegapunk, you're like, oh, He's like, how does he talk? It's been a while since I watched the anime. Super Vegapunk, you're like a role model. No, I said the made him sound like he was like Mexican or something. But whatever. And then he's like, I was in your homeland, yada yada. So all that was pretty much expected, right? And then of course Sanji's like, oh, lovely lady, like Sanji shit. And then here it kind of goes to our first hint because everybody was last time was like, what's the deal with this? Vegapunk's supposed to be an old man. What's up with all this? You know, we're like, is this really Vegapunk? Well, I'm glad Oda didn't. I'm glad Oda didn't keep us in the waiting to find out kind of the answers to that shit, right? Because Robin's like, he's been active many years, right? So she kind of knows. Good thing to have Robin. Plus, looks like she's ready for anything. She's got her powers set up stuff, how she does her thing. And then, see, I don't know about all these terminologies and stuff. I think at the end of this, they explain it and we'll go over it. And this one basically says, no, nobody said this was the main body, the Stella body. Now, I don't know what that means, if that's Japanese or it's just some other thing. I don't know. Like, there's some of the other names that come up with it that I know. And she's apparently Lilith. When I hear Lilith, what I talk back to is like, it was supposed to be from Christianity, was supposed to be like, I think. I don't know if this is canon to Christianity per se, or it's just something like that was the original first woman or the first wife of Adam, and then she became evil and got turned into a demon or something. So basically, she's still a scientist. Now, the one thing I'm unsure, are these all Vegapunk or are these like separate individuals that he's programmed? That's what I'm not sure about. Are they androids? Are they clones? Are, I don't, you know, those are the questions we don't have answers to. Which just kind of things you can think about. And then you get this. This is pretty cool. You get all these. I guess these are all cyborg sea monsters. I don't know if they're, you know, like sea beasts. I wonder if, like, you know, the mermaid princess, sure, Hoshi can control the sea beasts. Could she control these or not? Because they're not. And is it me? This has a. This is kind of similar to when they first got in, when they were going to the Grand Line originally, and they ended up in the. Fuck, what's it called? The word. Quiet. Where is it? Where I can't think of the name of it, but like, you know where Amazon Lily is, where there's no current or whatever it's called, and they were all surrounded. But then some of these designs, I swear, if I've seen these before. This lion thing with the little mask thing on looks familiar. This kind of reindeer thing looks kind of familiar. There's a wolf and this kind of tanuki thing. Maybe Oda's just drawn things like this before, but they all look kind of familiar. But I don't think we've ever seen these beasts before, and I'm sure we never were, that they were associated with Vegapunk. And then Lilith gets a call, and then she says Shaka put a sock. So that's another Vegapunk. And they're kind of smarter because they're like, dude, this is a fucking Yonko crew now, Emperor of the Sea. You don't want to be fucking around. Of course, you see like Frankie's just enamored by everything. Usopp's kind of scared and awestruck at the same time, and then Sanji's like, "Oh, girl," but Nami and Brooke kind of look scared. But Zoro and Robin are pretty much, they got their shit under together, and they're telling her, which is actually smart because a lot of times this is going to be the thing, you know, like. I wonder how this isn't going to change, because I'd say 75, 80, 90% of the time, most of the time, everybody underestimated Luffy and the crew. From all the way back to Buggy, Alvida, all them. And of course they didn't know them, but now they're so well known, and they have such high bounties, because you got like Zoro and Jinbei. Well, Jinbei is pretty established already because he was a warlord, but then now his bounty's gone up even higher. And you have Luffy, he's an emperor, and his bounty's ridiculous. Nico Robin's bounty's pretty high, and her name's pretty much known now. So, like, these people know who they are. So maybe people will start kind of. But even before that, you got other people. I guess a lot of people have egos, and I guess it would make sense because, I mean, Kaido and them, Because Kaido didn't really take him serious because he's like, I'm Kaido, which is kind of the same thing that happened with everybody else before. So is that trend may finally not be happening after this. But you can tell Zoro, he's just kind of like chilling, seeing what's going on. And then this person talks about Zoro's bounty, which is corrected finally, because I think originally it was like 1.00. So it's 1,111,000,000 now. That's Zoro's official bounty. I think it was already released that they made a mistake the first time, but this is the first time I know it's been in print where it was accurate. Um, so they're talking about he knows he's in the range, and then that person also knows. And I wonder how this person, can they see through her eyes, or is there like, are they seeing through um like the other things that are there? I wonder how that's working. And kind of, and like, it's a pretty rational way. The strong can appraise their prey and prioritize the most essential targets first. You should have been more cautious. And then so she's like, oh, it was all the other ones, so she didn't realize. And then Zoro's like, there's something I want from you, so you better play nice. Got it? Now, I wonder what that is. I just now noticed that. Like, I think I read it, but I didn't really think about it. What does Zoro want? Like, is there something, like, he would want to know from Vegapunk? Like, he's been, talked about and they know about him and everything. But what would Zoro want? You think here's my crazy theory right now. Zoro wants him to feed a devil fruit to one of his swords. But which sword would he do it to? But I don't know. It seems like Zoro also wouldn't want to rely on something like that, so that's probably not true. And then we get to meet Punk 1, Logic, Shaka. And then they say, no matter, bring them here. I have an interest in that crew. So, is this the actual real Vegapunk? Because it says Vegapunk 1. Or these other ones, like if you haven't read the chapter, like I'm not necessarily going to go in order, but like there's 6 of them that are mentioned. So are that 6 counting Vegapunk, the original, or is Vegapunk the original separate from that 6? I'm still not 100% sure whether or not how that works. He says he has an interest in that crew, which makes sense, because I mean they are pretty famous and he kind of knows stuff, and who knows who he's talked to. And then it talks about the old man voice is only coming from Lilith. So maybe Oda added that in there to us just to mess with us for a chapter, which I'm kind of glad he didn't keep up for a long time. Then we cut back to, hopefully, I know Oda kind of has to do this, like, to make the story. I hate that he separates everybody so much, But then we cut to Luffy. Who's all here? Luffy, Bonnie, Chopper, and Jinbei. And we find out Bonnie's been here before, and talks about, like, that she turned her dad into a cyborg. And Luffy doesn't catch on, and I guess Jinbei wouldn't know, but you think Chopper would have figured it out. But I don't think she says directly, but they're hinting that her dad is Kuma. Now, of course, my crazy theory is that Bonnie is really Goldie Roger's daughter, that they had Ace and her, because when Rouge said name it Anne if it was a girl, Bonnie's name, based on a real life prior, is Anne Bonnie, right? So who knows, maybe that they Garp gave one of the kids to the revolutionaries to protect, and he gave it to Kuma, and Kuma, right? Because just because someone says they're there, because like, Nami called Bellemere her mom, even though she wasn't technically her biological mother, and Luffy, Ace was Luffy's brother, although not biologically, and Sabo's technically. And I think they also kind of refer to Dan as his mom, even though she's not biologically his mom. So it doesn't always have to be biological. So while this kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into my craziest theory that I believe in, it still doesn't completely shatter it until Oda, like, reveals something, like shows her birth or some shit like that, which maybe we'll find out, because like usually we didn't really get we pretty much got Law's backstory. We didn't really get Beiji's backstory a little bit, or Apu, or we got Drake's kind of because it was kind of mixed in with Laws. We didn't really get kids 100% yet either, like not like a real flashback. So maybe during this arc, we're gonna get Bonnie's complete flashback, and maybe we'll actually get an answer 100% to this or not. Because my main thing is, why would Oda mention if it's a girl, name it Anne? And yeah, people are gonna be like, well, they should only had the one. They only showed the one. Well, remember, like Oda showed like it was only Ace was his brother, but then we kind of seen like there was a little bit of a cup. So then we kind of understand how Sabo was kind of put in there, and people keep secrets that don't pop out into original. Like how long Luffy didn't tell who his grandpa was to normal people and stuff. And how long we didn't know Ace was Roger's kid, so who knows, right? And it would make sense that they would be like, why? I guess her being associated with Kuma would also be why they would want her, but and her power would be useful too. So, but it could be also all other alternatives too, and it would also kind of play too, because remember, Blackbeard's the one that caught Ace and turned him in. Remember that one time he caught Bonnie and turned her in too, technically. So. Those are kind of parallels right there. And we know Oda likes to do a lot of parallel stuff. Jinbei's like, that's pretty fucked up. And then they finally get into the city and you get to see how cool it is. And it's kind of like set up like future. Vegapunk's got his name everywhere. It's like a giant robot and a giant dragon and all that stuff. Luffy, for some reason, decides he's going to attack the dragon. He flies through the dragon. So we're like, what the hell? And he's like, I don't know. I thought it swallowed me. Then they see some food and they try to eat that. Of course, this is one thing that Luffy and her are going to bond on. Even though Chopper looks like Jinbei's kind of like, and they go through that too. And then this is fun. Did we die or we ghost? Is that why we went through everything? That's their first thing. And then this is the first time that they've ever mentioned this. So this goes to show you how, because generally, if you look over the One Piece world, like it seems like it is kind of most of them. Like it does have, it's a weird thing. It's kind of like in Dragon Ball, like the original, like it looked like it was setting up, but then they would have like dinosaurs and they have cars. So it's kind of weird. So like it's kind of like a mix. But like before, if you look back on things, and I know we've got hinted stuff, but it did, most of the towns seemed like they were kind of set like in the time of what our normal time of pirates, right? But come to find out, it's not. There are more advanced technologies and stuff like that. But then Jinbei talks about this. It must be a hologram. So this is the first time we've ever heard that mentioned that I can recall. Then they find this like kind of like food thing where they can make all kinds of food, and they're like, "What? That might be fake too." Then we get this kind of like giant robot. I guess it's a robot. It kind of looks like an Astro Boy. I would say maybe that's kind of where Oda took his inspiration from, this one right here. And for some reason, they seem nice and everything. And they're talking about, we also learned that they have kind of like weather control and they can do all this. So Luffy tries to hit it and it's not a hologram, and then it knocks Luffy. So that must show how strong it is. And it's hard to always take this, like, did she use haki? Is there something there? Because it looks like Luffy's damaged. But like it could just be a gag, because we've seen like Nami even long before, like they would hit a Luffy and he would get bumps on his head or whatever. So it's not necessarily mean anything, but we could look at it might. So we have to wait and see. But it's kind of cool they got that weather thing. That was another thing I've seen in some people talking about. Like they could also relate into. I don't know if it will either be Nami helping them with that or her helping her own weather stuff, since they can control like the temperature and the weather with that. This basically what she was saying is that they don't have enough. Well, a lot of it comes down to they don't have enough people that are good enough to do it, and they don't have enough money to do all the stuff they want. But then we kind of find out this thing's kind of like it makes the food, and this like it makes like a hamburger with fries and a drink. It kind of reminds me of like in Star Trek, like Next Generation, they have the replicators. I mean, this isn't exactly the same, because apparently what it does is it has ingredients and it just makes the stuff from it. With the replicator, it just kind of reorganizes molecules into the food. But then, of course, Bonnie Chopper, and they find out, then they start talking about all the other stuff it has. And then the robot, like, she's pissed, but then she's explaining everything. Yeah, and this is where she said there's a lack of engineers. The bucket of bolts can't be mass produced. So this also kind of this might also lead into like part of Luffy's dream is he doesn't want people to go hungry, right? So maybe like this whole thing, Vegapunk's gonna come on his side. Maybe they'll figure a way to get everybody. Because I mean that would solve a lot of problems for people. Like because we've seen people starving and hungry and everything. Something like that. Like maybe that could be something. And then she hits the hologram. And there's what it talks about more money. Like they have like this is how advanced like there's things like Vegapunk has all these ideas and like they're feasible, but they just don't have enough money or time or people to implement them. This could also be another reason later on they want to get rid of Vegapunk because if they could mass produce all this shit and make it to everybody, then the world government would have a lot less control over people, and that could be another reason they might be scared of Vegapunk. That's kind of how I see it. That's kind of like a parallel to nowadays with people's ideas about government and stuff controlling them and everything like that, because they don't have the freedom or the power. And then she mentions what it is. She has photonic gloves that make it possible to interact with light. I wonder if there's a way to make the holograms interact with people without those. I don't know if it's just for all entertainment purposes. Because a lot of this is paralleling in my head from like Star Trek, like the Next Generation. I don't know how like Oda's a fan of anything like that, but they had like the holodeck, and then they had it where the holograms you could take a certain setting and they could be like physically touched, even though they're still not there. They could physically touch you. Then we get another Vegapunk that shows up. And then the robot girl is kind of happy to see her. She kind of looks like a normal. Is she just as tall, or is it like a? But during all this, Luffy's all like blah blah blah. So this is also another weird statement. Debates on what makes something real are as old as time. It's something you'll have to decide for yourself, but I consider the matter settled. And then they ask, what are you? Me, just your resident scientific genius for hire, Dr. Vegapunk. And then this one is, like, they have, like, two names. Like, this is hard for, like, with the Japanese. Like, I think certain, like, the kanji can mean one thing, but then read different the way it's written. I still don't understand how that works 100%. But then it's, like, Wrath, but, like, Punk Atlas is their name. And then Bonnie already knows this, too. Like, that's a lie, because she's probably meant the real original Vegapunk, because she went there when she was a kid. And Luffy's, oh, I heard you, Kobe told me about it. So there's Kobe name put up, because there's also a crazy theory that, especially from last chapter, we got that Kobe was kidnapped by Blackbeard, and then, like, Helmeppo showed up, and they're trying to beg I can't remember, the sword people there to help him rescue him and give him a Seraphim. Uh, So that's also a kind of a shout out to that. So who knows what's all that's going to come from. And then we get to kind of a cool moment. We know they were still around. I don't remember when. Was it the Reverie or Reveille or how you say it? However, I always thought it was Reverie, but they changed shit. We knew Kaku and Lucci were still around. Now in the movie, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Red. It does show Bluno and Khalifa in that. But I don't know if they showed up in the manga yet. I just know that Kaku and Lucci have. I don't know about Kumadori. What was the owl one called? I can't remember him. The one that had like the zipper mouth. I can't think of his name. And the wolf guy. I can't remember him. I don't know if they showed up. I think maybe they showed the one that was the leader of CP9, but I don't remember. But now they're all. But these were the two strongest ones, and then Stelly has shown up, and we've seen those other guys. They were in that. And then they're going to kind of explain, which is good. I'm kind of glad Oda's explaining this. But his genius is second only to his busyness. When there's not enough time, you say they say you're as busy as a beaver, right? I don't know if that translates. That's probably one of them weird, like, Japanese idioms. But I've heard that saying, busy as a beaver, like, so I don't know. Yeah, they said it's about cats, so I don't know. I know they had like this whole thing about cats' tail splitting is some sort of like legend over there. So I think that's where this comes from, like splitting itself into six different six different things. Um, so they do have information on Vegapunk, and this is kind of how they explain it. Like, so we'll read this out. In other words, all six of these satellites are also Dr. Vegapunk. And I'm the weird one for thinking that sounds impossible. Geniuses are such a pain. So then we kind of get like a little diagram. This is why I think Dr. Vegapunk is a separate entity from all the six we've seen so far. So we get their names. I don't think we only met like what, one, two, three. Is it that one we met? I don't know which the other girl is, but I'm assuming she's a Vegapunk too. But we met, one is the one that was talking to two on the radio or whatever. That's called Logic or Shaka. Punk 2 is evil, named Lilith. Punk 3, Flare, named Edison. Punk 4 is wisdom, named Pythagoras. Punk 5 is wrath, named Atlas. Punk 6, desire, named Yokai. Or somebody, there's also another one said translate, it might be York. Uh, and then here it does mention they did mess up. Atlas, they put a 6 on her, and it was supposed to be a 5. So that's probably just an error that'll get fixed. But yeah, so is this like Vegapunk's 1, and then there's 6 other ones, so there's technically 7 Vegapunks, or is it that Vegapunk is this one and it's just split up into all 6? Like, I wonder if Vegapunk's even like maybe he's just a brain now. I don't know. A lot of people are saying this is kind of reminds them of Pain from Naruto. Had the six. Was it the six? Was it the six paths or whatever? But did he count one of them as himself, or were they all 6 separate? I can't remember. So that's another kind of. It's kind of similar to that. Which actually I think that comes from. That's probably like a Japanese lore thing. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know all the Japanese lore and legends and shit. Like you learn some from manga because a lot of them get associated with it. There's like the Monkey King. Goku, Luffy are kind of similar to that. Like you learn about like yokai and things like that, and then like just small other myths and stuff from things. And every manga creator uses that to some extent. It's kind of like in Death Note. Was it Ryuk? He's a Shinigami, but then also in Bleach, they're all Shinigami, but they're kind of different. So they kind of take the ideas, and then sometimes they'll incorporate other. Oda's kind of incorporated shit from all over the world. He's used like Western, but a lot of it kind of goes because this is what they learn. Like, if whatever country you are has its own kind of like myths and legends, I'd say, and like especially the older the country goes back, and then they kind of get incorporated. In America, we kind of learn a lot of like the old European and like Greek and Roman and shit like that. And that kind of goes to some of the names. I think they explain that later. But like I said, I know Lilith Edison. A lot of people were saying that's Thomas Edison. He was a great inventor over here. Well, suppose a lot of people think he didn't necessarily invent everything. He was kind of like a snaky motherfucker. But he was kind of known for like like the light bulb and all that kind of shit and a lot of other stuff in America back in the day. Pythagoras, he's an ancient. I think he's Greek. And, if any of y'all ever heard the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. He did other stuff, but that's kind of like the main thing. Atlas, that was like I don't know if it was a god or if it was a titan. It was supposedly, the legend was they held up the world. And then these also kind of seem like similar to, like the deadly sins or whatever, like wrath, greed, all that, gluttony. So that's kind of similar to that, you don't necessarily, they're not specific ones, but like there's logic, evil, flair, wisdom. So maybe like these all have like a small, like he split his kind of personalities that he has into all of them. You know what I'm saying? But they still have the overall idea of Vegapunk. They're all geniuses, but like maybe some are a little smarter, have a little more logic. Some are like this is his angry like part of him. Like in a lot of things, like if there's like usually it's just 2 people. Like it'll go back to Star Trek once again, the original one with Kirk. They get that transport accident where they get like evil Kirk or Mirror Universe and stuff like that. Usually it's just splits good from bad, like everything. But maybe he split it up into even smaller things. So are they clones of Vegapunk? Do he take over their brain? There's a lot of things we got to learn. Are they full on like robots? What's the deal? those are things we don't know about yet. Then we come to find out that Lucci and Kaku, that they have a Seraphim Kuma with them, right? And weren't all the other Seraphim like kids? Do they grow, or are there different size ones? Because wasn't it a young Mihawk and a young Boa Hancock Seraphim that showed up on Amazon Lily? But this looks like a grown Kuma. But it could just be Kuma was always really big, and he might not. This might be his kid size. I don't know. I know Oda drew Kuma as a kid in one of the SBSs one time. And he also has another thing they brought out. He has dark hair and he doesn't have the white hair. So who knows? Maybe this is actually not even a full-on one. This might be a between a regular pacifista and another one. But he does have the wings and stuff like that. And then it says, in short, our assignment is to return this problem child back to Egghead. Then while taking care not to damage any of the lab's precious asset, we're to eliminate every last Vegapunk. So, once again, does that mean, like, all the 6 and they're separate from Vegapunk, or does that include the original as well? Because it seems kind of crazy to me, Vegapunk, unless they're just so worried, but they could keep the last one alive and try to control him, right? Because why would you want to lose this? If he can accomplish all this shit, that seems like that would be very, very good for you to keep him around. Like, look what he's created, like, you know what I'm saying? So, who knows? And then another thing, what I wonder, like, and a lot of people brought this up, if he created all the Seraphim, if Vegapunk's so fucking smart, does he not have, like, a kill switch or an override switch? Or, you know, a lot of times in, like, robot things, and I know this is different, this is just me, you know, going off what I know from other stuff, like, they'll create, a lot of robots, they'll make it where you can't hurt the master or something like that, or the one who created you. That'll be automatically put in to their programming. So, I don't know how that's going to work unless the world government figured a way around it. It seems unlikely because how genius he's supposed to be, but even how genius he is, that doesn't mean somebody, because, like, excuse me, we know he's smarter than Caesar Clown, but Caesar Clown could probably, you know, maybe mess around with some of his stuff like he already did. I don't know. And then it's Cyberpole, Aegis Zero, Masked Assassins, Kaku, Lucci, and Stussy, just so we all know, because they don't really show Kaku. Well, no, you can't help but miss him with his nose, so kind of curious of that. This also hypes up a lot of people, too, because a lot of people are talking about, like, we want to see Luffy fight Lucci again. What's the deal? Is he going to knock him out, like, one shot? Is somebody lower on the crew now can beat Lucci because they've grown so much, you know? So that's all kind of curious right there. I also want to see how they, because you know that Luffy and Zoro and Sanji, they could all take out a regular pacifista, but these seem stronger, you know? So are they going to be a level, is this going to give them a run for their money or not? That's what I'm curious about also. And we also don't really know how strong Stelly is, right? Stussy. What I call her Stelly. That was fucking Sabo's replacement person. Yeah, but Stussy. So we haven't seen her fight, I don't think. Maybe a little bit, but like not on the level we've seen these other ones fight yet. So kind of curious how strong she is, if she has any ability, you know, all that stuff. Also, part of me thinks, like, I remember the cover story, it seemed like they were like kind of pissed with the government. Why did they go back to work with them? Did they go back to work with them like kind of undercover shit? Like, is it going to find out that they're not really, you know what I'm saying, like wholeheartedly in it? Because it seemed like Lucci had kind of a change of, you know, how everything went. But who knows? And we'll see if that happens or not. Because Lucci hasn't really been redeemed yet. Is he going to? Because, you know, Oda loves to do a lot of that shit. A lot of people complain that Oda doesn't kill a lot of the villains. But the reason he doesn't is he ends up redeeming them and they come back later and this kind of adds to the story. So that's kind of how I see it. Then we kind of get this. So we're meant to kill the single, this is kind of what I'm arguing. So we're meant to kill the single most useful man in the world. I wonder if this has something to do with the Lelouchia incident. And that's where that island kind of got blew up or whatever. Was that an ancient weapon? Was that a new weapon? Was that Eames' power? We still don't know. So it's all that. And then Stussy's kind of like, yeah, with your instincts, you shouldn't ask those questions. Which is true. You know, you don't want to question the world government. And Kaku's basically like, yeah, let's not fuck up, you know. So that's kind of where we're at now. So is this going to take a minute, or are they going to kind of... because it seemed like maybe all the Straw Hats get back together sooner because they want to bring the one crew to the number one Vegapunk, right? So I don't know. So we're gonna see about that. Who else is there to fight? You know, it seemed like maybe they were going to have to fight Vegapunk, but it now also seems like maybe they're going to have to protect Vegapunk. It's going to be really, and then you got Bonnie that's involved too, so she's kind of mad. Maybe we're going to get explanations. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how long this goes. Each of Vegapunk, this is kind of like the notes they made. So, and they kind of explain a little bit better because these are the translators. So each of Vegapunk's satellites are written with the character for a specific trait, but are pronounced differently. Their origins are unclear, so these are our best guesses. So just take that with you. Evil, Lilith. These are things I didn't know, but name of the fictional second dark moon of Earth. Never heard that before, honestly. Horoscope, I don't know anything about that. Name, this is the one I was kind of talking about. Name for a god associated with feminine power, hidden knowledge, wildness, and primal energy. Wrath, Atlas, Titan, hold up the Earth. It's also a constellation, moon, because a lot of these go back. So they've named other things, like I think there's a moon is named Titan too. Yeah, no, Atlas. Well, there's one named Titan, but Saturn has a moon. Desire is Yoke, could be York. In ancient Mesopotamia, the name for some constellation. I didn't know that, but that's also kind of where that comes from. Flare, creativity, that's Edison. Like I said, noble inventor. There's a crater on the moon named after him too. Wisdom, knowledge, Pythagoras, Greek mathematician and astronomer. It's also a crater. You got logic, justice, correctness, that's Shaka. That's the number one, I think, right? Yeah. I never watched this anime or manga, but I've heard of it. Saint Seiya, a constellation, a king, Japanese name for Buddha, a moon. A lot of this has stuff to do with the moon too, doesn't it? So that might also be another kind of hint, about the technology. You're supposed like the moon people were supposedly like more advanced, the ancient people. Then you get Stella. This is written as a main true body, but pronounced as Stella, which means celestial star in Latin. It is currently unclear if Stella body is separate from the 6 satellites or whether it's one of them. So that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. We don't know. Even from that drawing, it could be interpreted both ways, in my opinion. That it's all split between them, or he's sending out from them. So I don't know. And maybe like the original or the Alpha Omega, the Alpha Vegapunk has mixes with it. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then there's kind of some show you. That's Atlas kind of depicted, and that's the. When they do the color drawings, that always kind of cool. Was it Grayish? I think that's her name. She does a lot of these, and it's kind of cool. There's a lot of comments here. I got 6 paths of Vegapunk. That's what a lot of people are, Yeah, that was also what I said. This person right here talking about like the moon and stuff like that. So that might also play a role into it. Oda's really, he's very broad with how he does everything. So what we can take from this chapter, in my opinion, it's definitely setting up a lot of stuff. Hopefully, though, it's going to move at a little bit quicker pace. I don't know if I can see it because I don't know how much time I got left. But we're trying to figure out shit and all that. But there's nobody in chat to ask questions, so yeah. So like this chapter has a lot. Like the cover story is also important. Is it Aoki that did that? Are we gonna find out? Like the next cover story is him showing up trying to steal the Poneglyph, and maybe even Pudding. Or is it gonna turn out that something totally different? We didn't realize somebody had ice power. Are we gonna get to meet all the other Vegapunks soon, or is it gonna like do one chapter about each one? We're gonna meet the original Vegapunk. Is he separate? Is he number one? Is that the original, or is that like another one besides that? These are questions we have. What is it? Like the one question I took away when I did this review and reread what does Zoro want to know from Vegapunk? What's the deal with that? Like, I'm curious about that. What is Zoro? I can see Frankie, because Frankie would probably want to learn more stuff or ask him questions. Even Nami, Usopp, stuff like that. Obviously, Sanji is going to be wanting to be with any of the girls. Um, and then obviously we're gonna find out. We might another one mystery we might get, because remember when we learned about Kuma and Kuma. Why did Kuma give over himself 100% to Vegapunk or back in the day, right? Um, and he also let Kuma go and protect the Sunny for those 2 years also. And then at that time he wasn't supposed to have any control over himself, I think. So he programmed him with that. So we're curious. Maybe we'll learn some more how he created the Seraphim, how they're different. Um, are Lucci and them going to fight Luffy again? Are they going to team up? What's the deal with all that? Those kind of questions there. Or what else are we going to learn? Cool things. Because we've already seen a lot of cool shit. Like, Oda already overloaded us with, like, giant mech robots, cyborg sea monsters, holograms, weather control, the food processing shit, the photonic glove things, you know. There's a lot of stuff. What other technology or things may we maybe see, you know, soon? And then of course we got all the original questions. Wonder what question, if anybody watches this afterwards, so that's far, is there any one question you're really excited to get the answer for here? Like, how do devil fruits work? How do you feed a devil fruit to an inanimate object? How does what does Vegapunk know about the ancient history? Does Vegapunk have some sort of genius fruit? Stuff like that. Or is Luffy going to find out about Kobe here, and then they're going to have to go and try to save Kobe? Is that going to be the next thing? We're going to find out all the backstory to Bonnie. Is my crazy theory going to get debunked 100% eventually in this one? So everything like that, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be around to do any more reviews. There's no break next week, so I still technically have a place to live for another till the end of the month, and unless I can get a job before then. I've been trying. I did some shit today. Yeah, but other than that, I don't know what's going to happen with me going down the road, y'all. Yeah. But yeah, that's neither there nor here, unfortunately. That's shit. I'm trying to do this because I've been so depressed. I've been, like, one day I couldn't even get out of my fucking bed. So I was like, if I do this, and I'm working on some other stuff. So I had one really, really bad day. I'm overall bad, but, like, one really, really bad day. So I'm like, I can fucking do this. I can, that's the thing. Like, people don't know how depressed people are. It's like, I'm not coming off depressed. I'm not, Plus, also, there's a little bit of pride, and I don't mean pride as in, like a over things. Like, I don't want people to know, and, you know, sometimes, like, you gotta fake it till you make it, unfortunately. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm like, he couldn't be that depressed, or he wouldn't even be able to get up and do this. But you also gotta realize, some days I don't even feel like I haven't even eaten today. Actually I had a cinnamon roll or some shit, but, like, not really. And I put a lot of shit off, like, that you need to do in your normal everyday life over the last few months because of everything. So yeah, it's a really, really thing. So, like, me doing this and coming off not like I'm about to break down and cry on stream, is also just another way for me to kind of get, you know, something going on. Because, like, if I get a job that I've been applying to, I can't be on the phone with people and be like, you know, I have to. And I'm not making fun of, like, trust me, I understand better than anybody right now. So yeah, so hopefully I'll still be alive soon and I can finish One Piece. And I don't know if I'll be making any more reviews or anything coming up, because I don't know what the future holds for me, like, the next month or so. Hopefully I'll still have ways to maybe put up a little bit of a video. I know, like, follow me on Twitter, because that'll be something I can keep up with. If somebody's question about me, you know, follow me on my Twitter. I think I put the links down below. If not, it's X71 on NWOR on Twitter. It might be Roy Royce now, but I think it's either one. I think that's the name I got, but, like, the handle is that X71. Yeah, because that way I can keep up with stuff, you know, everything like that. So yeah, I thought it was a good chapter, still opening up, a lot of good things. Hopefully Oda answers some fucking questions, and we don't keep on, he don't keep cucking us for too long. So that's it, man. Thanks for watching, if anybody ends up watching, and, oh, I seen somebody chatted. Sorry, I didn't notice it because the thing isn't working on the screen. Who is this? I can't read your name. I just see your thing. I appreciate it. It just says I dot dot. Pin message report. I don't want to do. I just wanted to check your thing because I wanted to get. I guess your name is I dot dot. Appreciate it. If you're still here, sorry I didn't see your thing. The chat thing isn't showing up on the window, so I didn't see it. But yeah. So that's that. That's my sad story. I don't know what. If only I'd have stuck with One Piece a long time ago, maybe I would have been big enough where I could have made money off of this shit, and I could beg people. I just hate it. Like, there's me a little. Here's my mini rant in. I hate, like, yeah. Do I owe some fault to all this? Yes, but like the thing that caused all this shit, like, nothing to do with me. Like, if I hadn't gotten that accident and become disabled to the extent I am, and then that just caused everything to kind of slide downhill, and me not to cry out, and then of course Mama dying just added it. And I'm not blaming my mom. I'm just saying, like, some people make their own mistakes, and I'm not saying I didn't make any mistakes, but like, it wasn't like I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go smoke crack and quit jobs and go live on the street or something like that. That was never the thing. Mine was, I got in that accident and then it just slowly ruined me, you know, and it's just, it's hard when it's physical and emotional, because sometimes, like, my physical disabilities, they will make me not want to get up for the rest of the day just because of, like, this, the pain and the other shit that's going on. And I'm not, and I know there's people worse off than me, like, pain wise, I'm sure. But yeah, so yeah, it's just all, like, it's nothing that I caused myself. I didn't get in the, I wasn't drunk getting the wreck. Somebody got in the wreck and hit me, and then all the whole lawyer shit. Like, my biggest mistake was I should have took the time I had earlier and did some sort of schooling or something to get a job. But during the first year of it, I was having to go to therapy like 3 times or 4 times a week just to get back to doing, like, the bare minimum of basics, right? And I was like, well, we're gonna get this lawsuit settled. My plan was that we'll get that settled, and I get everything figured out from there. Then I can figure out everything. Yeah, I'm only semi back. Oh, I appreciate it. Blazing. Sorry, Blazing Akari. Yeah, I'm only basically barely back. Like I said, my life's gone to shit, so I don't know if these will continue or not. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, so that's kind of my little rant at the end. If you watched the whole video, cool. If not, I'm about to end it. Good chapter. Looking forward to the whole Vegapunk shit. And follow me on Twitter, because that might be where the only place where I can update if my life completely goes to shit. And other than that, yeah, well, I'm not doing. I mean, it depends on what you mean by okay. I'm not doing okay as in good. I'm like, if I can't find a job soon, I won't have a place to live. That's kind of where I'm at. So that's a bad spot. I'm not trying to bring anybody else's day down. Everybody's got fucking problems. So I don't necessarily know to say I'm okay. I'm still alive and everything like that for the time being. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I appreciate everybody stepping in. Feel free to let me know what you thought about the chapter and all that. You know, I'll try to keep up for it while I can. But I have to focus a lot more of my time right now as I'm trying to apply to jobs. I did a thing today where I had to do this, like, assessment of the job. I don't know. Hopefully they can get back to me soon. I don't know. I've had certain ones, like, not necessarily turn me down, but they'd be like, shh. Yeah, I mean, Twitter is, but, like, it's also just an easy place to keep up for, you know, if you follow me or something like that, or you have, because one person checks in with me, they'll send me a message or something just to see, and that's just if you know, I mean, it's not like a thing. It's just saying, like, to check in and see if I'm around. You can always shoot me a message on there, because YouTube message system is not good. You can't even send emails or nothing through it anymore, and it's just something easy to have on the phone. All right. Well, y'all, appreciate y'all stopping in and everything like that. Unless anybody else has anything to say, I'm probably going to call it, because I need to go. I'm working on some stuff I need to go take care of also. All right, everybody, have a good one. If y'all see me again, you'll see me again. If not, you know, like I said, you can always follow the Twitter and see if I'm still alive at the least. Yeah, me too, man. I'm trying to work on it, man. It's been a fucked up 2 years. I had the worst 2 years of my fucking life. Uh, like it's just like it feels like those fucked up 2 years are gonna ruin the entire rest of my fucking life. That's what's so fucked up about it, man. All right, man. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.